ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friends. In this video, I am going to narrate Sarasvati-rahasya Upanishad. Sarasvati-rahasya Upanishad. Secret of Sarasvati Upanishad. This Upanishad belonging to Krishna Yajurveda is the 106th among the 108 Upanishads. This Upanishad describes the secret of the goddess Sarasvati. The absolute Brahma, possessing creative power, is worshipped as the supreme goddess. Goddess Sarasvati is one among the many forms of the Supreme Goddess. Various names like Bhagavati, glorious or adorable, Ila, truth vision, Visruti, truth audition, Bharti or Mahi, vast and luminous consciousness, Pavaka, purifying, Sharda, a form of Sarasvati, etc., are attributed to Goddess Sarasvati. She is the bestower of all knowledge, including Brahmajnana, and in the Vedic religion she is well known by various epithets like Goddess of Knowledge and Illumination, Goddess of Purity, Goddess of Speech, Goddess of Inspiration, Goddess of Supreme Felicity, etc. Those who are unaware of this secret may conclude that Saraswati is just one among the 7 rivers which flowed during the Rigvedic era, carrying the light of the luminous solar world and possessing a great purifying power. However, the Vedas present a double meaning in their hymns, the one associated with the external nature and the other related to the internal nature. The goddess Saraswati is that pure and sacred inner stream of truth consciousness or rhythm that flows from the vast heaven divine consciousness to the earth physical consciousness, transforming its substance with her purifying power and uplifting the human consciousness from the bondage or limitation of matter to the enlightenment or freedom of the spirit. Saraswati is the creative consciousness of non-dual Brahma in pure sattva form. She, having a graceful form of bright white light, transcends the impurities of earthly consciousness. The Vedas have not presented any anthropomorphic form of Saraswati. However, later scriptures like the Puranas describe her as Subhravastarvata, the one who is clad in spotless white, which signifies purity, shining brilliantly in her traditional snow-white dress, seated on the white lotus and wearing white crystal ornaments. The goddess Saraswati personifies purity. Thus she is verily worshipped as the goddess of purity. Goddess Saraswati is called Ritavari, the one who possesses the truth. She awakens the higher suprasensory faculties which bring right perceptions and right vision based on the principle of rhythm. This right perception and right vision liberate the human soul from the bondage of sense objects. The human soul then transcends the world of mortals and enters into the world of immortality. This elevation of consciousness to a new dimension of spiritual reality bestows inspirations to the human soul. Thus, Saraswati is the goddess of inspiration who inspires a devout soul with the words of truth. It is through her grace alone that one becomes a seer of truth. Goddess Saraswati illuminates our entire intellectual faculty with her truth consciousness, impelling a change of thought which liberates the mind from the limitation and bondage of mortal consciousness and grants the supreme felicity of immortal life. Thus, Saraswati is known as the goddess of illumination and the goddess of supreme felicity. She is the Jnana Shakti, power of wisdom of non-dual Brahma, and her vehicle swan symbolizes this power. Hansa or Paramhansa is the one who transcends all the imperfections of the phenomenal world through the power of intuitional discrimination. Saraswati, who resides in the heart of everyone as Vijnana, intuitive or supra-sensory knowledge, and helps in understanding the scriptures, is indeed adored by the wise as the goddess of learning or goddess of knowledge. She is the embodiment of all knowledge, both secular and spiritual, who leads her devotee to enlightenment. She is manifest and specially revered in all educational institutions. She dwells in the profound depth of the supreme ether of heart as Vak and manifest as the gross form of speech on the tip of the tongue, impelling true, sacred, and melodious speech. Thus, she is glorified as the goddess of speech. Vagdevi, this speech permits the transmission of ideas, wisdom, and culture. Thus, the grace of the goddess Saraswati is always invoked for the refinement, perfection, and proficiency in philosophy, poetry, literature, music, and sacred rituals. This indeed is the inner secret of the great purifying virgin goddess Saraswati, says Asvalayana, who was a teacher of Rig Veda, reveals this secret to the sages in this Upanishad through 10 mantras. Sages then propitiate the goddess through various hymns. Pleased with the invocation of the sages, the great goddess reveals her identity with the non-dual Brahma. However, one cannot understand the non-dual Brahma without overcoming the dual power of Maya. This Upanishad recommends the constant practice of Samadhi for this end. This Upanishad concludes its exposition by showing the illusory nature of Jiva, individual soul, and Isvara, universal soul, in the non-dual truth of Brahma. The worshipper of Goddess Saraswati enters into the realm of pure consciousness where she withdraws the veil of Maya. Then devotee realizes the non-dual truth of Brahma and attains liberation. Shanti Mantra. ओम वांग में मनसी प्रतिष्ठिता मनो में वाची प्रतिष्ठित माँ वीरा वीरम एधि वेदस्य में आणिस्थ श्रुतम में माँ प्रहासीर्नेनाधि होत्ररात्रान् संध्यामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मावतु तद्वक्ता तद्वक्तारं वतु अवतु माम वतु वक्तारम अवतु वक्तारम. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम my speech is in conformance with the mind, my mind is in conformance with the speech. O self-effulgent Brahma, reveal thyself to me. May speech and mind make known the Vedas to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. I shall unite Sandhami day and night through the study of the Vedas. I shall speak the truth Ritam. I shall think of the truth Satyam. May that Brahma protect me. May that protect the speaker, that is the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the speaker. May that protect the speaker. Om peace, peace, peace. First Sloka. रेशियो है वही भगवंत आश्रलायनम संपूजय प्रपच्छु. The sages with due reverence truly asked the venerable Asvalyana, Kenopayen tat jnanam tad padartha bhaskam yadupasanya tatvam janasi bhagwan vad. Venerable sir, how is that knowledge attained which reveals, illumines and subject matter, that transcendental principle? Narrate to us that by meditating on which you know the truth. Stranger number 2. Sarasvati das salokya sasritya bij misriya satutva japtva pram siddhi labham Muni Pangva. O eminent sages, supreme perfection is attained by reciting 10 verses along with rigs and seed syllables in praises of the goddess Sarasvati-rahasya Uchu. Sloka number 3. Katham Sarasvat Praptihi Ken Dhyanen Suvarth Mahasarasvati yen tosta bhagavati vad. The sages said, how is goddess Sarasvati attained? By what meditation is the great purifying goddess Sarasvati won? Please narrate to us what pleases the goddess Bhagavati. Says Asvalyana imparts 10 mantras to the sages for propitiating the goddess Sarasvati. The Rig Veda mentions all these 10 mantras along with the name of their seers to whom these mantras were first revealed. However, this Upanishad describes a secret syllable for meditation and a prayer for protection before commencing each of these 10 mantras. The sage first prescribes nyasa, consecration of limbs in the name of 6 deities, which Shraddha, Medha, Prajna, Dharma, Dharna, Vak Devata and Mahasarasvati before commencing meditation on the great goddess Sarasvati. The great purifying goddess has a divine form of pure white light. A devotee should invoke the goddess through these 10 mantras with meditation on her divine form. The result of this worship is purity of thoughts in the mind, illumination of the intellect, and plenitude of speech, which ultimately grants spiritual wealth of bliss of an immortal life. सहोवाचा अस्वालायन अस्य सरस्वती 10 श्लोक महामंत्रस्य अहम अस्वलायन ऋषि अनुष्टुम छंदः श्री वागीश्वरी देवता यद्वागिति बीजम देवीं वाचमिति शक्ति प्राणदेवीत कीलकम विनियोग प्रीत्यर्थ श्रद्धा मेधा प्रजाधारणा वागदेवता महासरस्वती तरंगन्यास. This is fourth stanza. That very Aswalayana said of this great mantra of 10 verses on Sarasvati, I, Aswalayana, am the seer, the 8-syllabled Anustabh. Anustabh is the meter, the auspicious. Vagishwari is the deity. Yadvak is the syllable, mystical letter forming the essential part of the mantra. Devim Vacham is the active power. Prano Devi is the inner syllable of the mantra. The application of mantra is to please her faith, Shraddha, intelligence, Medha, awareness, prajna, concentration, dharana, deity of speech, Vagdevata, and great goddess Sarasvati, Mahasarasvati are invoked for consecration of limbs, assigning various limbs of the body to tutelary deities. Fifth stanza. Niharhara Ghansar Sudhakaram Bhyam Kalyanadam Kanakcham Kada Bhusham Uttanpeen Kuch Kumbhe Manorangi Vanim Namami Mansa Vatsam Vibhuttai. The one who shines pure white like frost, pearls, mercury, and the moon, bestows auspiciousness adorned with garlands of golden champaka flowers, having a dignified and charming form. I offer reverential salutation to the goddess Sarasvati in my heart in order to win plenitude of speech. First mantra. In the first mantra, the sage Bhardvaja prays to the goddess Sarasvati for vigor of life force and purity of thoughts, which are the basic qualifications for the performance of sacrifice. Stanza number 6. Parno Devi Tashe Mantrashe Bhardvaj Rishi Gayatri Chande Sarasvati Devata Paranven Bij Shakti Kilkam Ishtarthe Viniyogah Mantrin Nyasah. 4. Prano Devi Mantra says Bhardvaja is the seer, Gayatri is the meter, Sri Saraswati is the deity, Parnava is the mystical syllable and active power of the mantra. Its application is for obtaining the cherished desire. Consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra. Stanza number 7. Ya Vedant Arthe Tatvai Karam Savarupa Parameshwari Nam Rupatam Na Vyakta Sa Mam Patu Sarasvati. She whose nature is the essence of the meaning of Vedanta, being the supreme ruler who manifests as the names and forms, may she, Divine Saraswati, protect me. Stanza number 8. Om Parno Devi Saraswati Vaje Bhi Varjinvati Dhinam Vitrashvatu. O Goddess Saraswati, salutation to you, best bestower of vigor of life force, Vazebhir, dispenser of spiritual wealth, knowledge in sacrifice, Vajinvati, the guardian Savitri of noble thoughts or intellect, Dhinam, may you protect us, Avatu. The word was has many meanings associated with sacrifice like energy, vigor, swift horse, treasure, oblation, etc. This shows that Goddess Saraswati is a great dynamic force of life or divine energy who facilitates the ascent of the human consciousness to a divine plane beyond the realm of the mental plane. A sacrifice is only an external symbol of this ascent. She embodies the swiftness or dynamic waves of truth consciousness, symbolized as a horse in the Rig Veda, who possesses a great treasure of noble virtues. She purifies our mind with noble ideas and illuminates our intellect with clear discernment and right perception. She is very generous in conferring knowledge and enlightenment upon the seekers of truth. It is through her grace that one becomes a Sarvajnana or an all-knowing one. This is a very powerful mantra of the goddess Saraswati and very often recommended for repetition during jap sadhana. This mantra is a part of Sukta 61 Mandala 6 of Rig Veda Samhita. In this sukta says Bharadvaja extols Goddess Saraswati as the swift rays of pure divine consciousness who destroyed the wailing power of Vritra and the hostile power of Panis. Panis are the forces of darkness who obstruct the descent of divine consciousness in man and conceal the light for their own selfish gain. In the following mantra, says Bharadvaja prays to the goddess to destroy the censorers of the gods, the progeny of Drishya, who create illusory forms to delude a devout soul. This is mantra number 6.61.3. Sarasvati Devnidoni Baryah Prajam Visvasya Brashyasya Mayinah Uti Apsitabhya Vanirvindo Visadhyamyo Vismebhyo Asarvo Vajinvati. O Saraswati, destroy the censorers, Nida of the gods, the progeny of Brishya, the universal deluder. Grant happiness to the godly and saintly people of the earth, and for these the hostile powers trickle poison. O thou bestower of spiritual wealth, Saraswati overcomes all obstacles through her swift rays of consciousness and protects her worshippers from the possession of these evil thought forces of Panis and secures their release by uplifting human consciousness to a divine plane. In Rig Veda, a journey or ascent towards divine consciousness is described as sacrifice. To facilitate this sacrifice, the goddess Saraswati must destroy hostile forces and bestow noble thoughts, illumined illumined intellect on the devotees. Therefore, in the first mantra, the seer first prays to the goddess for protection against these hostile forces. In this sukta of Rig Veda, the seer depicts Saraswati as the mighty force or divine power who destroys the evil forces with great impetus. Second mantra. In this mantra, the sage prays to Goddess Saraswati to descend from the heavenly sphere of light and take delight in the invocations of the devotees. O no div iti mantrasya artri risihi त्रिष्टुप छंद है सरस्वती ही देवता ह्रीमती बीज शक्ति कीलकम इथार्थे विनियोग है मंत्रेण न्यास for a no Devi mantra says Atri is the seer, Trishtab is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Harim is the mystical syllable and active power of the mantra. Its application is for obtaining the cherished desire. Consecration of limbs of the body is through mantra 9. Stanza number 10. Ya sango pang vedeshu chatusvekaiv giyate advaita brahman shakti sa mam patu sarasvati. She who alone has been extolled in the four Vedas and Vedangas auxiliary to the Vedas, power of non-dual Brahma, may she divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza number 11. Hriha no divo brihate parvada Saraswati yajta gantu yagam havam devi jajosana ghritachi sagmam no vachamusti sharnotu. Harim, may adorable Saraswati approach our sacrifice from the vast heaven and from the summit Parvat, taking delight Jujush in our invocation Havam, flowing with streams full of clarity. Ghritachihi, may the purifying goddess hearing our recitation grant sweet words of bliss. This mantra appears as Sukta 43 in Mandala 5 of Rigveda Samhita. This mantra was first revealed to sage Atri from the vast heaven or supreme ether where all the gods reside. Sage Atri, desirous of performing sacrifice in order to acquire spiritual wealth of bliss, invokes Goddess Saraswati, pleading for clarity and purity of thoughts. Saraswati is the river of truth consciousness which flows not upon the earth but in the heaven. She flows down from the summit of earth consciousness, that is exalted mental consciousness, as the streams of clarity, purifying the mind and infusing vital energy through her divine waters of inspirations. The mental plane is the highest plane which can be realized by man through his normal earthly consciousness. Other planes transcend this earthly consciousness and belong to spiritual planes. Third mantra. In this mantra, the sage prays to the goddess Saraswati to accept the offerings of the devotees in the sacrifice. The sage offers oblations in the form of riks which awakens spiritual knowledge. Stanza number 12. पावका नय इति मंत्रस्य मधु छंदः ऋषि गायत्री छंदः सरस्वती देवता श्रीमती बीज शक्ति कीलकम इष्टार्थे विनियोगः मंत्रेण न्यासः पावका नः is the mantra, madhu Chanda is the seer, Gayatri is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Srim is the mystical syllable and active power of the mantra. Its application is for obtaining the cherished desire. Consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra. Mantra number 13. या वर्ण पद वाक्या अर्थ स्वरूपणे वर्तते अनादि निधना अनंता सा माम पातु सरस्वती. She who exists solely in the form of meaning of letter, word and sentence without beginning and without end, may she divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza number 14. श्री पावका नह सरस्वती वाजे भी वार्जिन्वियति यजम वष्टो धियावशो. श्रीम में प्यूरिफाइंग पावका सरस्वती bestower of vigor of life force, वाजे भी dispenser of spiritual wealth, knowledge or intelligence in sacrifice, Vajnivati generous in granting understanding or intellectual knowledge, Dhiya Vasu cherish or accept our oblations offered to the deity in sacrifice, Yajnam Vastu. This rik is frequently chanted during the ritualistic worship of goddess Saraswati. Here says Madhu Chanda describes Saraswati Rigveda Samhita as the purifying goddess Pavaka who purifies the human consciousness from falsehood and bestows righteousness. Saraswati is the embodiment of pure consciousness or spirit who confirms illumination of the intellect. This illumination of the intellect brings about a clear understanding and discriminative knowledge of things around us. It compels a change of thoughts in the mind in conformance with the truth. Here, Goddess Saraswati is described as the treasure of all virtues, who generously grants the gifts of knowledge, intelligence, and understanding. These virtues are spoken of as spiritual wealth for the seeker of knowledge. Fourth mantra. In this mantra says Madhu Chanda prays to the goddess to uphold the sacrifice by awakening noble and pure thoughts. This prayer is offered in order to remove all obstacles in the performance of the sacrifice. Stanza 15. चोदयित्रीति मंत्रस्य मधु छंदः ऋषि गायत्री छंदः सरस्वती देवता विलोमिति बीज शक्ति कीलकम मंत्रेण न्यासः. Chodayatri is the mantra, Madhu Chanda is the seer, Gayatri is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Balam is the mystical syllable and active power of the mantra. Consecration of the limbs of the body is through the mantra 15. Mantra 16. Adhyatam dhi devam chaya devanam Samme Giva Sri Pratgaste Vadanti Ya Sa Mam Patu Saraswati. She who is the Supreme Spirit, sovereign ruler of gods and demigods who exist as the inner voice, may divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza number 17. Bilum Chodayatri Sunu Sunartyana Chetanti Sumati Nam Yagam Dade Saraswati. Balam by inspiring Chodayanti polite and truthful words, Sunirtam non-awakening chetanti, good thoughts or intellect. Somatinam Sarasvati upholds the sacrifice. In this mantra of sage Madhu Chanda Rig Veda Samhita, Sarasvati is the personified as the goddess of polite and truthful words. Suniratanam, who bestows the right state of mind and right thinking. Somatinam, she provides warmth to the soul in its journey towards God. It is through her favor alone that one becomes a seer of truth and attains Brahma. The seer describes Sarasvati as the goddess who upholds the sacrifice by receiving the offerings of the mortal beings. She awakens the consciousness of mortal beings and elevates them to a higher mental plane by driving away wrong ideas and wrong emotions from the mind. Fifth mantra. In this mantra, the sage prays to the goddess to grant right perception based on suprasensory faculties. Suprasensory faculties alone can bring purification of the being through the vast stream of truth consciousness. Perception through ordinary faculties signifies the extrovert nature of the being which is responsible for all impure thoughts, while perception through suprasensory faculties signifies the introvert nature of the being which awakens pure and noble thoughts in the mind. Stanza number 18. Mahu Arneti Mantrasya Madhu Chanda Rishi Gayatri Chanda hai Sarasvati Devta Sauriti Bhi Shakti Kelam Mantriyan Nyasa hai. Mahu Arnaha is the mantra, Madhu Chanda is the seer, Gayatri is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Suh is the mystical, level and active power of the mantra. Consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra 18. Antaryamatmanam Vishwam Trilokyam Ya Niyachati Rudraditya Rupastha Sama Mam Pato Saraswati. This is stanza number 19. She who is invoked as the inner self, ruler of the three worlds, who dwells in the form of Rudra, Aditya and others, may she divine Saraswati protect me. In the Vedas, the gods like Rudra, Aditya, Indra, etc. are identified with the prana. It is also mentioned that these gods work through the vast power of great stream of truth consciousness. Saraswati has been symbolically represented as great ocean or great flood. Verse 16 leaves us in no doubt that Saraswati is the inner self of the gods who awaken in the consciousness the vast moment of rhythm from which flows truthful words. She is the sovereign ruler who governs all the activities of gods through this vast moment of rhythm. She has been described as Brahmic consciousness, Shakti or power of non-dual Brahma. In verse 10, in the Rig Veda, three virgin goddesses Ila, Bharati or Mahi and Sarasvati are invoked simultaneously in various hymns to confirm the bliss of the self. We do not find any reference of Sarasvati being a consort of Lord Brahma. It is only after Rig Vedic era that she has been described as the consort of Lord Brahma in mythological scriptures. Stanza number 20. So Maho Arnahe Saraswati Parchet Yati Ketuna Dhiyo Visva Virajati. So Saraswati, the vast stream Maha Arna of inspiration who makes us sentient, perceivati by right perceptions, Ketuna clear discernment illumines the entire Visva Virajati. Intellectual faculty, Dhiya, discriminative faculty based on supra-sensory perceptions of the embodied soul. This hymen of sage Madhu Chanda, in which Goddess Saraswati has been invoked, appears in the Mahamandala 1 Shakta 3 Shloka 10, 11 and 12 of Rig Veda Samhita. The seers refer to Saraswati as the vast stream or the great river. Senacharya translates Saraswati as a great river in North India which flowed during the Rig Vedic era. But this translation will lead us to an incoherent meaning of the above verse. This hymen reveals the inner secret of great goddess. Saraswati in reality is the ever-flowing vast stream of truth, consciousness which purifies the aspirants. Imagery has been presented in the Vedas where crossing this vast stream symbolizes passing over from the world of ignorance or bondage to the far shore of the world of enlightenment or freedom. This transition from the world of mortals to the world of immortality brings inspiration. The mind of the mortal being is normally confined to sense perceptions. Inspiration comes from suprasensory perception. Thus, Saraswati is the power of truth consciousness who bestows inspiration. This inspiration purifies our inner instruments and liberates them from all limitations of sense perceptions. Goddess Saraswati awakens higher suprasensory faculties, which brings right perceptions and right vision. She confirms right thought in the mind and right discrimination in the intellect. This inspiration or awakening is associated with the descent of Vijnana or intuitive knowledge. Thus, in the Rig Veda, Saraswati symbolizes the vast stream of truth consciousness and not a river in the North India, more particularly Punjab. Sixth mantra. In this mantra, the goddess is extolled as Vagdevi, who exists in four padas, grades or phases. The three of them, Vijpara, Pashyanti, and Madhyama, abide in profound secrecy and are known only to the great yogis, while the ordinary people know only the fourth pada, Vijvakhari, which is articulated by all living beings. Stanza number 21. Chatvari Vagiti Mantrasya Uchatthai Putrah Rishi त्रिष्टुपः छन्दः सरस्वती देवता एमिति बीज शक्ति कीलकम मंत्रेण न्यासः. Chatvari Vak is the mantra, Uchatha Putra is the shear, Trishtak is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Aim is the mystical syllable, and active power of the mantra, consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra 21. Mantra number 22. Ya pratyagya drashti bhi vaivarjhamana bhunjate vyapini gyapti rupakaya samam patu sarasvati. She who is experienced anubhayate by the seers through the mystical vision of inner self, Pratyag, who pervades microcosm and macrocosm in the form of non-dual awareness. May see Divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza number 23. Em chatvari vak premita padani tani vidur brahmana ye manishanah guha trini nihata nengam yanti turyam vacho manushyaha vadanti. Em Vak sound is measured premita in 4 grades. Padani, those wise Brahmana, knower of Shabda Brahmana or lower Brahma, know them. 3 of them, Pada, abiding in profound secrecy in an unarticulated state in the cavity of the heart, cause no movement of organs like movement of palate, lips, tongue, etc., while the 4th grade speech is articulated by the man. This mantra is a part of Sukta 164 of Mandala 1 of Rig Veda Samhita. In this Sukta says, Dirgtma Uchit Putra describes through his mystical vision that supreme ether where all the rigs exist. This supreme ether also exists in the cavity of the heart, which is revealed only to the yogis who have known the nature of Shabda Brahma. Sound exists in 4 grades, which Para, Pashanti, Madhyama and Vaikhari. Out of these, Para sound in supreme ether, Pashanti sound in the mind, and Madhyama sound in the life force of vocal organs are the 3 unarticulated sounds which proceed from the heart and are audible to only sages like, while Vaikhari sound articulated through the organs is the gross and objective sound which is articulated by an ordinary man. The goddess Saraswati, who presides over all these grades of sound, is also known as Vagdevi. She grants plenitude of speech by awakening the soul to higher mystical experiences and enlightening the mind with right thought. 7th mantra. In this mantra, the sage prays to the goddess to descend from the heavenly sphere of super consciousness and energize the earthly material consciousness. This descent enables a fourfold transformation of the being, leading to supreme state. Stanza number 24. Yadvag vadanti mantrashaya bhargavah risi त्रिष्टुप छंदः सरस्वती देवता कलीमिति बीज शक्ति कीलम मंत्रेण न्यासः. Yadvak vadanti is the mantra, Bhargava is the seer, Trishtub is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Kalim is the mystical syllabus and active power of the mantra. Consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra. Stanza number 25. Nam jate dhi bhirdrishtdhasi vikalpita nirvikalp atmana vyakta samam patu Sarasvati. She who is the expressive power of the undifferentiated supreme self beyond thought, who is thought of as eightfold differentiated personified cosmic energies based on name, order, etc. May she divine Saraswati protect me. Goddess Saraswati is described here as the creative power of unmanifested sound, Vak, who is the cause of entire creation. She represents the expressive power of the super consciousness. It is she who differentiates herself in the form of 8 personified cosmic energies. These Personified energies are variously referred to by the names Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Vrahi, Andri, Indrani, Chamunda, Narsimhi, and Kalasam Karsini. Kali. Brahmi is the Vedic goddess Vak who creates this universe. Maheshwari is the supreme Vedic goddess Sachi, the Mula Prakriti, who gives individuality to the created beings according to their three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Kosum Kumari is Vedic goddess Swaha or Agni, Jata Veda's wife, who represents the soul force present in every created being, which essential for evolution of the soul. Vaishnavi is the Vedic goddess Ushas who sustains all beings through truth of unity and harmony. Varahi is the Vedic goddess Yami or Prithvi who grants power of assimilation and delight. It is because of her that the living beings get their food and all physical enjoyments. Andri is the Vedic goddess Aditi, symbolizing indivisible consciousness who destroys all that opposes the cosmic law and order of unity and harmony. Chamunda is the Vedic goddess Prishni Rudrani who represents the purified life force that destroys all mental modification. Chittavirti, she restrains the mind by bringing spiritual awakening in the heart. Kalamaskarshini or Durga is the power of time. She is the all-devouring and all-destroying time. Thus these energies are of Rig Vedic origin and are invoked for awakening of Kundalini Shakti in Rig Veda. Stanza number 26. Kalim yadvag vadanti vichetnani rastri devanam nisasad mandra chatasray urjam duduhe payansi kam shivdasha pram jagam. Kalim, when Vak queen Rastri of the gods residing Nisad in the heavenly sphere, Mandra where Riks abide, manifest kindles her creative power in the unconscious region of earth or mortal body. Avichetan, she brings forth Duduhe, lit meaning milking, fourfold streams of energy of illumination, light and bliss. Pyasi, lit meaning milk, where is that supreme immortal world of vastness, light and bliss. This sukta is taken from Rig Veda Samhita. Here, Seer Jamdagni Bhargava explains the formation of higher planes of consciousness or worlds in our journey towards divine consciousness, which is depicted as an act of sacrifice in the Rig Veda. Creative goddess Vak kindles a fourfold transformation in our nature, mortal body. Through her divine energies, she transforms physical bhu, nervous intermediate space or bhuvar, and mental bhuvar or swar consciousness, and reveals the supreme world of supermental consciousness, which grants pious or rays of illumination. The seer describes Sarasvati as the goddess of enlightenment. Here the seer aspires to attain that spiritual world of immortality beyond this triple world of mortal beings, which is limited by physical, vital and mental consciousness. Eighth mantra. This mantra is a prayer of an earnest soul aspiring for the delight of immortal life. Stanza number 27. Devim Vajmiti Mantrasya Bhargav Rishi Trishtum Chandah Sarasvati Devta Sauriti Bij Shakti Keelam Mantrani Nyasa hai. Devi Vacham is the mantra, Bhargava is the seer, Tristubh is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, so is the mystical syllabus and active power of mantra. Consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra. Mantra 27. Vyaktya Vyaktgir Sarve Vedadya Vyaharanti Yam Sravakaduddha Dhenu Sa Mam Pato Saraswati. See whom all the Vedas and others declare Vyaharanti in manifested, articulated or objective and unmanifested, unarticulated or subjective speech, Gir, who is the full of light of consciousness, Dhenu, fulfilling all the aspirations of the soul for Godward journey, Sarva Kama Dudha, may see Divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza 29. So Devi was Majniyantah Devastam Viswarupa Pashvo Vadanti Sa no Mandresh Murje Duhanam Dhenur Vag Manupa Sustu Tetu. So the goddess Vag, unmanifested sound or the power of Shabda Brahma, whom the gods proclaim, attend in the form of riks, whom the beings Pushva of all forms express, speak, may see the creative goddess Vag, light of consciousness, here symbolically spoken of as cow, excellently praised. Sustu come to us, granting Duhana, delight of immortal existence and vigor of mortal existence, Mandresh Murje. This sukla is taken from Rig Veda Samhita according to the translation rendered by Sainacharya, the seer of this mantra, prays for sweet meats and drink, which is totally out of context. In the Rig Veda, the cow is the symbol of light, truth, consciousness, illumination and knowledge. The gods, discovering that light in the form of riks, could become one with that light, and thus they are called the shining ones. According to Vedic rishis, this truth consciousness liberates the mortal life from all limitations and grants delight of immortal life. The goddess Saraswati, who is the power of supreme consciousness, is also known as the goddess Vag Devata. She creates truth consciousness in our thoughts and grants supreme felicity of immortal existence and not sweet meats and drink for sustaining this mortal existence. It is the descent of this truth consciousness which provides the vigor for mortal existence. Ninth mantra. Stanza number 30. Ut tva iti mantrasya Brihaspati Rishi Trishtup Chandah Sarasvati Devata Sammiti Bhi Shakti Kilam Mantran Nyasah. Utatvaha is the mantra, Brihaspati is the seer, Trishtup is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Sam is the mystical syllable and active power of the mantra. Consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra. Stanza number 31. Yam viditva khilam bandham nirmithya khili vartamana yogi yati pram sthanam sa mam pato Saraswati. Knowing whom all the bondages are obliterated, the goal of all paths through which a yogi proceeds to the supreme abode of immortality, may see Divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza 32. Sam utitvam pasyan dardashay vachmutitvam rishan vannah shirnotinam uto tav saming tanvam visware jaye pattaya usti swasaha. Sam, though seeing one does not behold, being aware of unaware of transcendental nature of the goddess, though hearing speech rigs in objective form, one does not hear, does not understand the profound secrecy of the supreme ether. To one who understands the secret of the Vedas, she does reveal herself as does a well-dressed Suvasa consort Jaya presents herself to her beloved Lord. This mantra is a part of Sukta 71 of Mandala 10 of Rigveda Samhita. The goddess Sarasvati dwells in the sound and she is the embodiment of speech. The potency of speech and sound is infused in the mantras or rigs of the Veda. The deity is said to be present in these mantras, and by chanting these mantras we can make the deity manifest. However, in this sukta, Brihaspati Angiras says that though hearing and seeing the goddess walk in the name and form of rigs, one may not understand the nature of the goddess. In spite of learning all the mantras, if one has not understood the nature of supreme ether, where all the rigs abide, it is only by knowing this source of all the rigs that one becomes a seer of the Vedas. In one who thus knows the secret of the Vedas, the goddess Sarasvati is ever manifested. In Sukta 10.71 of Rigveda Samhita, the seer emphasizes the importance of intuition in understanding the true import of the Vedas. Only those who lead a life of chastity can awaken this intuitive power through the grace of Goddess Sarasvati. Scholars who merely know the Suktas verses with its factual or logical meanings are unaware of the true import of the Vedas. Since the language is symbolic and poetical, its secret and true inner meaning is not revealed to everybody. Those scholars who seek name and fame by merely knowing the rigs of the Vedas fail to understand its true inner meaning, and they derive no real benefit from the Vedas. The same view has also been expressed by sage Dirghatma Uchchitaputra in the Rigveda Samhita, wherein he says, Hiracho Aksare Parme Vyoman Yasmin Deva Adhi Visve Nisuddha Yastam Naved Kimercha Krishyati It Div Dusta Ime Smaste. The rigs abide in the imperishable Aksar Supreme Ether Param Vyoman, in which Adhi resides Nisad, all the gods, Deva Visve. What will he do? Kim Krishyati, with the rigs by merely chanting and knowing its meaning. Who has not known Na Veda, that supreme ether? But those who know that Tadvid, they merge in Samasti, attain the supreme abode of God. Therefore, those who have no devotion to truth do not derive the real benefit from the Vedas. Their self-complacency prevents them to understand the true inner meaning of the Vedas. It is only those to whom the goddess walk reveals the true inner meaning of the Vedas attain the supreme state of Brahma. Thus, those people who profess Vedic religion and inculcate Vedic ideals are high or low according to their spiritual capacity. The Vedas are impartial in their teaching. 10th mantra, stanza 33. Ambitam iti mantrasya grit samadrisi anustav chandah Sarasvati Devata emiti bij Shakti kilkam mantrani nyasah. Amitame is the mantra, Grishtamada is the seer, Anustap is the meter, Saraswati is the deity, Aim is the mystical syllable, and active power of the mantra, consecration of limbs of the body is through the mantra. Stanza number 34. Nam Rupat रूपात्मकं सर्वं यस्यामिवेश्यतां पुनः ध्यायन्ति ब्रह्मरूपकया स्वयं पातु सरस्वती. She who is the manifestation of all names and forms, into whom they merge again, of whom the wise seers meditate in form of non-dual Brahma, may she divine Saraswati protect me. Stanza 35. Am Ambi Tame Nadi Tame Devi Tame Saraswati Aprastata Ive Samasvi Prastimbam Niskridhi. Aim, O Saraswati, the noblest Virgin Mother, the best of rivers, stream of supreme consciousness, the most divine goddess, we are as it were insignificant, without reputation or devoid of truth. Consciousness beings, O Mother, grant us self-expression, glorious divine nature. This mantra is taken from Rig Veda Samhita. Here the seer Gristmada Angiras prays to the goddess Saraswati for illumination of the soul in order to attain the divine nature. This illumination of the soul is like a new birth. Praja for the seekers of knowledge. The seer in the next mantra of Rig Veda Samhita aspires for this new soul formation or a new birth in the spiritual world. However, those who are not yet initiated into this secret knowledge translate praja as progeny. They consider the seers of the Vedas as mere mortal beings who prayed to their primitive gods for food, drink, progeny, wealth, name, and fame. However, those who have an insight will immediately find a rational and sensible spiritual meaning behind the veil of symbolic language of the Vedas. They will find that seers of the Vedas were men of wisdom and not men of superstition. So I conclude this video at this stage. Next video number 2 also will continue with Sarasvati Upanishad. Thank you for watching this video. Namaskar my dear friend. Thank you.